Welcome back to Reddit Story Time. Today we have 4 incredible stories. Let's dive right in.
Story number 1. My neighbor was stealing my gas, so I set a trap. A homeowner noticed something strange. His 5-gallon gas can, which he kept for his lawnmower, was always nearly empty when he went to mow the lawn. Now, the lawnmower only had a tiny 1-quart tank, so 5 gallons should have lasted months, but it kept disappearing. This was before the era of cheap security cameras, so he got creative. He set up a webcam connected to his laptop with motion detection software aimed right at his backyard. Then he left the house. Literally 5 minutes later, the camera caught his neighbor walking into the backyard, grabbing the gas can and siphoning fuel into his own car and lawnmower. 5 minutes. This guy didn't even wait, but our homeowner didn't confront him immediately. Oh no, this was pro-revenge, which means planning. He documented everything, multiple instances of theft, all caught on camera, all time-stamped. Then he calculated exactly how much gas had been stolen over the months. When he finally confronted the neighbor, he didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He simply showed him the footage and the itemized bill for every gallon of stolen gas. The neighbor turned white. Faced with clear evidence of theft and the threat of police involvement, the neighbor paid every penny. And he never set foot in that backyard again. Sometimes the best revenge isn't dramatic. It's methodical. Document everything, calculate the damage, and let the evidence do the talking.
Story number 2. The HOA president who fined everyone until he got exposed. When a homeowner moved into a suburban neighborhood, he expected peace and quiet. What he got instead was a petty dictator named Todd, the HOA president who loved power but hated accountability. Todd was the worst kind of leader. He fined people $200 for leaving their trash cans out a minute past 9 a.m. He measured fence heights with a ruler. He sent threatening letters about grass being a 1/4 inch too tall. He was relentless petty and seemed to thrive on making his neighbors miserable. But here's what made it truly infuriating. Todd blatantly ignored every rule he enforced on others. His own yard was a mess of unpermitted structures. His fence was taller than city ordinances allowed. He had violations that would make the rules committee faint. The homeowner, who we'll call Jake, decided enough was enough. Jake was patient. He documented everything. He photographed Todd's unpermitted structures. He measured Todd's fence. He compiled records of every selective enforcement action. Then, at the next HOA meeting, when Todd tried to fine yet another neighbor for a trivial violation, Jake stood up. He presented his evidence, all of it: the photos, the measurements, the pattern of selective enforcement, the unpermitted structures, the oversized fence. Todd's face went from smug to terrified in about 3 seconds. The room went silent. Then the other neighbors, emboldened by Jake's courage, started speaking up about their own experiences with Todd's harassment. By the end of that meeting, Todd was voted out as HOA president, and the fines and violations he'd accumulated on his own property came due. The tyrant who fined people for trash cans was now facing thousands in penalties for his own violations. The lesson: if you're going to enforce the rules, you'd better follow them yourself.
Story number 3. My coworker stole my credit, so I let him dig his own grave. There's one in every office. Let's call him Seth. Seth was the coworker everyone dreaded. Lazy, manipulative, and somehow always getting away with it. He'd sit on his phone for hours, take 2-hour lunches, show up late with ridiculous excuses. But his favorite trick was passing his work on to others. He'd send emails asking to help out with a project, which actually meant do all the work while I take the credit. And his favorite target was our storyteller. For 6 months, Seth dumped his responsibilities on someone else while collecting the praise. When our storyteller complained to the boss, nothing happened. Seth was charming when it mattered. He knew how to play the office politics game, so a plan was formed. Instead of refusing Seth's requests, our storyteller started accepting them with a twist. Every time Seth asked for help, the response was documented in an email trail. Every piece of work done on Seth's behalf was logged with timestamps and details. Then when Seth presented the work as his own, the documentation proved otherwise. The trap was set during a major project presentation. Seth stood in front of the team and the department head, confidently presenting work he hadn't done. But this time, our storyteller had CC'd the department head on every single email where Seth had asked someone else to do the work. The department head had seen the entire paper trail. When Seth finished his presentation, the department head asked him a specific technical question about the project, a question only someone who'd actually done the work could answer. Seth stumbled, hedged, tried to deflect. Then the department head pulled up the email chain showing exactly who had done every piece of the work. Seth's face went pale. The room was silent. Seth's reputation, carefully built on stolen credit, crumbled in about 30 seconds. He was reassigned within the week. The lesson: if you're going to steal credit, make sure there's no paper trail.
Story number 4. Someone stole my catalytic converter. That was their worst mistake. A truck owner woke up at 2:45 in the morning to a deafening roar. He rushed outside and discovered that someone had swiped the catalytic converters off his truck. Now, catalytic converter theft is annoying, but common. Thieves steal them for the precious metals inside and sell them to scrap yards. But these thieves made one critical mistake. They didn't check if the catalytic converters were actually functional. See, this truck owner had hollowed out his cats long ago. They were shells, empty, worthless. The thieves had gone through all that effort, sneaking around in the middle of the night, risking felony charges for absolutely nothing. But it gets better. The neighbors had security cameras that caught the whole thing. Clear footage of two local kids driving around in a beat-up police Crown Victoria. A car that was itself not street legal. No license, no insurance, no registration. Our truck owner could have called the police. Instead, he called a friend in code enforcement and hatched a more satisfying plan. He reported the car for a nuisance tow. The same Crown Victoria that the thieves used to steal worthless catalytic converters was towed away. The thieves lost their vehicle over parts that had zero scrap value. The karma was so perfectly balanced, it was almost poetic. They stole something worthless and lost something valuable. And the truck owner, he got new catalytic converters, actual functional ones this time. And the satisfaction of knowing that somewhere, two thieves were staring at an empty driveway where their car used to be.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. See you next time.